On this week's episode of the Program Guys podcast, we recap the Super Wildcard NFL playoff slate from last weekend and dissect our picks. We look ahead to the divisional round of the playoffs and those matchups as well, and we make our picks against the spreads. Off-season workouts with Schmitty have officially begun, and the 2022 version of the Oklahoma Sooners football team is starting to take shape. We check in on some transfer news with the Sooners as well. Ryan gives us his must-watch of the week for Licorice Pizza, and Pat gives us a blistering hot take about one Hall of Fame coach who should just call quits now. Be sure to like, subscribe on all of our channels on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter at The Program Guys and on Instagram under Program Guys. That's all one word with a Z. All right, let's get started.
3, 2, 1, go!
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, episode number 2 of the Program Guys podcast. I am Mason Prince, joined as always by Matt Gann, Mark Hall, Patrick Hertzberger, and Ryan Tyson. Today is Wednesday, January 19th. Boys, how'd we like our first week as podcasters?
Loved it. Dude, I feel famous.
You feel famous?
Yeah. Am I like a movie star now?
Yeah, I think you
Got a lot of good feedback on how great Mason Prince was.
I know, right? Like a lot.
Boys,
I was like,
so
you know, people
much
were
about
like,
Mason.
people were texting me. They were like, "Hey, bro, it was great, but Mason, he's like,
Yeah.
he's the star."
There's a but there.
I mean,
Yeah, there's an asterisk.
Guys, at least y'all got the first part of the sentence. I would just get texts that were like, "Hey, Mason knows what he's doing." Like, yeah, he does. He does.
listen, you
Good to hear about my work.
listen, you don't spend 2 years in Macon, Georgia, and not know how to talk into a microphone. You know what I mean? That's how you do it right there. Patrick, we got to address your wardrobe right now.
Yep.
What's going on?
Describe
for
it for
asking.
the
I am repping-
describe it for the listeners too, Patrick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
describe for
absolutely.
listeners.
I am repping FC St. Pauli. It is a German soccer team in the second Bundesliga who beat Borussia Dortmund, who's in the first Bundesliga today. Huge upset for Dortmund. Love that St. Pauli won. Local club out in Hamburg. It's like the People's Club of Germany. Everyone loves that club. And they got the dub
Congrats.
today. So they kicked out Dortmund in the tournament. And it's fun for everybody.
Did you just
And
like
time.
have that? Did you
And
just
that
have
was
that?
Pat's 30 seconds of soccer. And
Yep, that
we're
was it.
moving on. We'll see you
We're
next
good
week.
for another 6 months.
Hey, I have a question. Did you just have that like scarf like ready to go? Do you
It's
just
the people's team.
Yeah. You got to have it. See?
You'll never walk alone.
If
Oh,
you're-
wow.
That's what it
If you're
says.
watching,
Why is it in English?
Oh, people
That's a
speak English.
great question.
Okay.
if you're
never mind.
watching on our YouTube right now, you can be able to check that out. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, by the way, the Program Guys podcast. You can find us right there. Find us on Twitter as well at the Program Guys with a Z. Also on Instagram, Program Guys as well. Guys, let's go ahead and start it off. We're starting with some NFL talk to get it started. We had some feedback. A lot of people who aren't Sooner fans really want to get into the meat and potatoes of the NFL before you guys start talking about the Sooners. Well, folks, here you go. Okay.
Yep, here it is.
We're gonna go ahead and get into it.
We listen to the people.
Yeah, we do. We listen to you
Yeah.
guys when you
Yeah.
like and subscribe. Thank you.
So y'all better listen back because
right.
we did it.
Starting off with the NFL talk, Bengals beat the Raiders 26-19. Joe Burrow looked good. Even on that out of bounds throw. What'd you guys take away from that game?
I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Well, actually, it was closer
took
than
away
I think
that-
a lot of people thought it would be, right? I mean, it did come down to one play. So,
Yeah.
I took away the fact that Pat was wrong.
yeah.
We'll go over our picks once we go through all the games. But
Got it.
anything else to add, Matt or Mark?
Joe Burrow looked good. You know, he looked like he looked the last few games of the year. Jamar Chase looked good. Anything further would go into this week's game. So I'll hold off for now.
Okay. All right. Mark with a little tease. That's what we call a tease in the biz. Next up, Bills absolutely wax the New England Patriots. Samsonite. I was way off on that pick. I had the Patriots to cover
Same.
+4. They did not. Josh Allen absolutely dominates the Patriots. The Patriots looked absolutely lost. They didn't have a shot from the get-go. And we'll touch on the Patriots later with the Pat's hot take. But what did you guys see out of the Bills in that game? Does it make you feel any better about their matchup this week?
Dude,
I
it was
mean-
an absolute smackdown. Not even close. I mean, the Bills came out firing. What was it, 28-0 before the Patriots even put up points on the board? I mean, they just came out storming, put their foot on the gas, did not let up. Definitely gives them momentum going into Arrowhead next week. So watch out for the Bills.
I think it
Yeah.
shows just how good the Bills are, especially compared to a team like New England that was helped a lot by that weather. I think that's what we learned this weekend out of that game. More than anything was the Patriots weren't quite there. And, the Bills beat, again, going into this week, the Bills beat Kansas City in Kansas City earlier this year. They're for real team, and we didn't need to see that this weekend to know that.
Next game up, Tom Brady does Tom Brady things, beats the Eagles 31-15. I'm saying Tom Brady beat the Eagles, not the Buccaneers, because that's really what it is at this point. Yep. Mike Evans had a good game as well. You got to give him credit, but also Tom Brady was the one throwing the ball. Bucks are moving on to the next round. What'd you guys see out of the Bucks? Can they repeat, do you think?
No. But, I mean, that's my first thought. No, probably not. Tom Brady is incredible, but I think they have a real challenge ahead of them with Los Angeles coming up. Biggest thing here for me was the Eagles and us saying we didn't trust Jalen Hurts throwing the ball, and look what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't throw it.
And also Pat was wrong.
Pat was wrong.
Yeah, I put some trust there in Jalen. I shouldn't have. Yep.
That's on you. You should have known from watching that OU team get absolutely waxed by LSU.
After the fumble in the
that
Texas
you can't
game.
trust.
Yep.
You can't trust Jalen Hurts against a superior quarterback, period. You can't.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned it last week on the podcast. The Eagles had the number one rushing team coming in the NFL, over 200 yards a game, and the Tampa Bay number one rush defense absolutely smothered them. And like I said last week, it's going to come down to Jalen throwing the ball, and we know he just can't do that as of right now. So easy win for the Bucks. Definitely a big challenge next week against the Rams. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady at this point, though. Let's all take a moment, give our thoughts and prayers to any Cowboys fans out there. Lose again in the first round of the playoffs. Very tough look. Losing to the 39ers. Losing to the 49ers 23-17. That last play, that Dak scramble.
Got the over on his rushing prop.
That way, Mark.
It was awesome.
Do you guys blame Mike McCarthy for the play call? Do you blame Dak Prescott for taking too long to slide? Because it was obviously the play call. Like, that's what it was. The quarterback draw looked like what the play call was. Or do you blame the ref because he took too long to get there and then got in the way, yada, yada, yada?
I don't blame the ref. I think a lot of people do, but it's part of the game. The ref's got to get up there.
Yeah, I don't blame the ref either.
Yeah.
That hits on something Tony Romo said during the game is Dak needs to know that the ref's got to touch the ball. So get out of his way.
Because it happened.
I don't know if I
earlier in the game.
necessarily blame Dak, but you got to know the rule.
I don't know why that's the play call with no timeouts, no matter how much time is left.
Agreed.
Especially with however many seconds there were. It just didn't make sense to me because you're outrunning your offensive lineman, and no offense, bigger people don't run fast. So why are you running a 20-yard, 15-yard run to now wait for your offensive lineman to get set, then wait for the ref to touch the ball to get set? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Especially when it could be like a manageable, like, it's not even like a Hail Mary at that point. He would have been like the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it would have been a long toss, but at least it's manageable. Like, save yourself the 10 seconds and go down 7 yards earlier. And we might not be having this discussion right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually disagree with you guys. I actually think it was a good call. Just poor execution on all levels. Ref, Dak, the whole offense. I mean, the San Francisco 49ers had all their defenders on the sideline waiting for that pass to get out of bounds. So the middle of the field was wide open. It was a great play call. Very poor execution on all levels. But they were trying to get closer. I'd rather be at the 30-yard line than be at the 50 or 45 plus. So
I'd rather
instead they ran out of time.
A seam down the middle of the field with everyone on the sideline. He's faster. If you're just gonna run the clock out anyway, that's a better play.
All right, moving on. Chiefs dominate the Steelers from the get-go. Steelers didn't have a shot. Big Ben's final ride. Not officially retired, but he's probably retired. That's probably going to put him into retirement, that game. Chiefs looked like the Chiefs of old. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Pat Mahomes. That's what they looked like. And that's what they do well. Yeah, you're right. Jerick McKinnon as well. What did you see out of the Chiefs? Are you Chiefs believers now?
Yes.
Not to win the Super Bowl,
Okay.
but
Can you never not be kind of Chiefs believers? I mean, we were talking about this, pre-pod, but we were talking about this in December. Hey, the Chiefs are just going to be there again because they're like the Alabama right now of NFL. They're always kind of there. You can never count them out. Andy Reid is a mastermind when it comes to offensive thinking. I mean, you can't count this team out no matter what. And I think we saw that this past week. But I also think Pittsburgh is garbage, and I would have rather have seen the Chargers in there.
I think that we're going to find out a lot about how real contenders the Chiefs are against the Bills this weekend. Depending on how they handle that game, even if they win and they play well and eke out a win, I'm going to feel a lot better about the Chiefs going forward than I did when the playoffs started. Gan, did you have anything?
Yeah, I think everyone's talking about the offense. Let's talk a little defense. First 5 weeks of the NFL, the Kansas City defense was the absolute worst, giving over 30 points per game. Now the second half of the season, only giving up 16 points. They gave it to Big Ben. I mean, I called it last week. It was going to be his last game in Arrowhead. I called that pretty well. But I think the Kansas City defense is for real. They're going to give the Bills some problem next week.
What is this self-promotion that is happening?
Well, I love it
with Matthew.
I
Gann?
love it.
It's just
Everyone
he's
knew.
calling.
Everyone called it except for Mason.
Yeah,
Gotta say, I did a
You're
good
so
job. The
sure.
sky's blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just trying to toot my own horn.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Gan. Thanks for that. Moving on. Rams 34, Cardinals 11. Kyler Murray did not look good. Matthew Stafford did look good. I talked a whole lot of mess.
I was so wrong. I gotta eat crow.
I talked a whole lot of mess about Matthew Stafford and the Rams being frauds, and they go out there and wax the Cardinals. But that's what you do. I'm a hot take artist, people. That's why you come here. You come here for the hot takes, and you stay for Pat wearing scarves. That's what it is. So, what'd you guys like out of the Rams, and what is it about the Cardinals that every year with Cliff Kingsbury, I saw he ends the season losing more games than he wins.
Devastating.
And it's insane to me that they start so hot always. Even back to his time at Texas Tech, they just finished horribly.
Oh, that is Texas Tech. So.
That's fair, Pat. Yeah.
No, their running game was really impressive. I wasn't expecting that. They don't have a super stud running back, and I thought their running backs did great.
I'm going to get into this later, but Cam Akers coming back and looking so good so soon after tearing an Achilles is
unreal.
Such a game-changing, option for them. It completely changes the dynamic of the offense, I feel like.
Yeah, but they're the Rams defense looks so good also. Just having, Donald up there, having, Von Miller up there, ridiculous. It's just I don't know why I picked the Cardinals, and looking back on it, I was like,
our heart was
looking
with
at this
Kyler.
Defense, our heart was with Kyler, but I should have looked at the defense more and been like, okay, yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah, it's weird because in November we were like, the Rams are probably going to win the Super Bowl, and then we're like, oh, they're going to lose to the Cardinals, who just lost 4 of their 5 games. I don't know where that came from us, but
yeah, big Rams fan that you are, Pat.
Don't speak for everyone.
Whatever Kyler Murray is selling, I'm always buying. That's just the kind of guy I am, and that's probably a fatal flaw of mine. Also with Baker, I mean, I still believe Baker.
Look,
and I shouldn't, but I do.
I have a signed Kyler Murray jersey in my game room. I worship at the altar of Kyler Murray. I don't know why he won't run the football.
I don't know either.
I mean, that's I'm not buying whatever he's selling, because part of the Kyler Murray package is the ability to run the football faster than everyone else in the world can run the football. And for some reason, he's not doing it. as much as he's capable or when the opportunities present themselves. I was surprised last night, and I picked the Rams to win and to cover. I was surprised last night by how much the pocket was just collapsing on him, and he wasn't able to get out of there. You almost expect to hear that there's an injury coming because it was just surprising. He's so quick, he's so fast, and couldn't get away.
All right, 6 wild card games in the books. Let's go ahead and look at where we all stand with our picks. Me and Patrick, dead last, tied at 2-4.
Together,
not a good weekend for me and Pat.
Not a good look for you.
No, not at all. I know. I don't know football. I don't know football. We got Ryan in third place, 4-2 against the spread. These are against the spread, by the way. We got Matt at 5-1. Him and Mark were tied going into that final Rams Cardinals game. And Mark, go ahead and take your lap real quick. I'll give you 15 seconds to take your lap.
Oh, I don't need 15 seconds. Hey, this thing is it's a crapshoot, you know. No one really knows anything. I just got right this week. Let's go.
Congratulations,
to
Mark.
Wow. Look at that, Gan. Look at that humility that was shown.
Humility
that was displayed right there.
All right, so now we're going to
way more humble than I am.
We're going to discuss. We're going to make our picks for the rest of the NFL playoffs every week that we're on here. But the loser is going to have to do something, and we're going to have to come on the pod with it. I told everybody their homework was to try to come here with a punishment that they had in mind. I'll start. I think if you're last place, you got to get a spray tan.
Ooh.
And you got to film it, and we're going to tweet it out and post it to YouTube.
Oh, that's good.
That is good. That is, but I don't really need it, Dan.
Yeah, Pat.
Yeah, but that's
I
not
never-
bad.
That's the whole
need a
point.
tan.
That's the whole point. Pat.
None of it's about
No
what
one
you
needs
need.
a spray tan. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got it.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got one. So there's these have you seen those super hot chips that come in? It's it looks like a Dorito
Pocky
and it
or
comes
whatever.
in one package.
Yeah.
And it's like an inferno
One chip challenge.
one chip
Only
challenge.
on mine, but yeah.
I think we need to do that on camera.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair. All right.
I have something
Anybody else?
similar, but it
Okay.
relates back to more so what we did in college. And every Friday night we went to B-Dubs. So
Yeah, we
someone's
did.
got to get, whoever loses, got to go to B-Dubs, got to get the blazing wings, at least 10 of them, and eat them during the podcast throughout.
Patrick,
Ooh.
10 of them? Have you had
10?
one before?
I don't know. Is 10, is that too much?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with 6, boys.
Patrick's debating himself. Patrick's the easiest guy to make him
Hey,
change.
Mark, I think we could get him down to 3.
Yeah,
I think we could
well,
get him
I
down
mean,
even
like-
farther.
No, 6.
Realistically, man, even well, I mean, I don't know. If you record for an hour, I guess you could make 6
Yeah,
happen.
you get a little milk.
Not crazy.
One
Plus, maybe
glass
we
of
get a
milk.
sponsorship
It's also
out
a
of it.
really daring challenge for someone who's currently sitting in last place. So
All right.
just wanna throw that out there.
Anyone else? We're going to put this online, by the way. You guys can vote on our Twitter. We're going to put up all the options, and we're going to let the fans decide what the punishment is. I
So
think
I've just
that's
got
the
a
move.
classic cinnamon challenge. I think it'd be a lot of
Yep.
fun to watch one of y'all do that on camera and
One of y'all.
crack some jokes while we're doing it, or maybe me. You
Let
know,
me tell you, I'm not a big fan of all this ingesting of
Yeah.
things.
What's
Yeah.
all the food challenge?
yeah.
No.
Well, Matt, what's your
What
idea?
else is there to do on camera? Come on.
Get a spray
Yeah.
tan.
Get a spray tan.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not that creative. I know we're trying to do something on camera. I was just going to make someone come hang out with me for the entire weekend, all inclusive, paid vacation down in Dallas, Texas. You get to
No
spend the
deal.
whole week.
That's a,
No,
I'm
we
out.
don't.
I'm
that's
out.
That's a
Twitter
tough
polls
punishment.
only go to 4. Use ours. Leave this out.
All right, I will.
Harsh and unusual punishment.
All right, moving on to this weekend's divisional slate. Bengals at Titans. Titans 3.5-point favorite. That game is on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll start with our picks. Mark, you're first, and then Matt.
All right, guys. I went back and forth over this all day, but I landed on Titans. We've got a -3.5. The Bengals defense has been suspect all year, and Tennessee's got Derrick Henry returning. He looked great in practice today. They've got arrested AJ Brown, arrested Julio Jones. They're at home with the bye week. Mike Vrabel's in his 4th year as a head coach. This is their 3rd year making the playoffs. Doc Taylor's in his 2nd game, and the Bengals struggled against the Raiders, who were worn out on a short week at home last week. The Titans have their horses coming back on offense. They've got a strong defense. That defensive front is built to take advantage of a weak Cincy O-line. I think Titans win, Titans cover. It's easy as that.
Over to you, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, those are all great points. I disagree, though. I think the Bengals are right in the hot hands. I believe all in momentum. So now the Titans haven't played a game in 2 weeks. Yeah, they are getting rested. Yeah, they did get Derrick Henry back, but I think they're going to start off slow. I think the Bengals are going to take advantage. I have them at least covering. I'm leaning towards the Titans winning, but I do have the Bengals covering 3.5 versus Titans.
So here's where I'm at. When you have a close matchup, like I think we're going to see, you always side with the team that has the better quarterback. And the better quarterback is Joe Burrow. That's what it is to me. And give me the Bengals. Give me the Bengals to cover. And that's where I'm at. Patrick.
All right. We got a lot of Tennessee fans who listen to this pod, and I'm gonna have to upset them. I think
go put on your Vols shirt to make him feel better.
Yeah, I'll throw on the Vols polo later in the pod. I think the Bengals are absolutely going to crush the Titans. I don't think it's going to be a contest. The Bengals got this. Titans, watched them a few weeks ago. They sucked. I don't think this is a contest.
I like it.
All right, I'm last.
Yeah, you're last.
Okay, I'm going to go with Mark here. I'm going to take the Titans. So Vrabel has been the coach for 4 years, and in those 4 years, the Titans have come off a bye 4 times, and they've won all 4 of those matches. And they've won them by a average of 20.5 points. I think this coach knows how to keep his team rested. I think this coach knows how to prepare for big games. We saw that last year in the playoffs. And I mean, Derrick Henry's coming back. And I think the biggest part of this is making sure that Tennessee is able to control the game and keep the ball out of the hands of Joe Burrow, which I think they're going to be able to do with Derrick Henry coming back, who, in my opinion, is probably the best player in the NFL right now. He's absolutely insane. I mean, I think he's 9th on NFL rushing this year, and he hasn't played since October. That's insane. And so, like, Cincinnati lost a few defensive linemen this weekend. I think the big question mark here is Tennessee's passing defense, which is terrible. But I think if Henry and the Titans offense are able to keep the ball out of the hands of Joe Burrow, they're going to win. So I have Titans covering, winning, all of it.
All right. Let's move quicker on this one. Mark, start us off. 49ers at Packers, 5.5 point spread. Packers are the favorites. Saturday night, 7:15 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, Packers on a short week, or Niners on a short week, coming to Lambeau. Jimmy G suffered a shoulder sprain against the Cowboys. His status is up in the air, whether he's hampered or Trey Lance is playing. That's a tough play either way. San Francisco's got the toughest front seven in football, but Joey Bosa's coming off concussion protocol, or has to come off from concussion protocol, and Fred Warner tweaked his right ankle. I would take Green Bay anything short of a touchdown without even thinking about it.
Gan?
Yeah, I mean, this is my team. I mean, it's the Packers. It's Lambeau. It's playoff Aaron Rodgers. So no doubt in my mind they'll be able to take care of it. I will say this is probably the worst matchup that I wanted, just because of the 49ers rush offense. That's the one thing the Packers are weak in. So the same thing with the Titans. If the 49ers are able to run the ball, keep Aaron Rodgers on the sideline, that's about the only way they're going to win this game. But I do have the Packers winning and covering.
Packers were my Super Bowl pick at the beginning of the season once everybody started pissing off Aaron Rodgers, and I'm rolling with him again. 5.5 points, they cover. I think Aaron Rodgers throws for like 3, maybe 4 touchdowns. Give me the Packers all day right there. Patrick.
Yeah, this one was the toughest one for me. I almost took the Niners. Obviously, I went with the Packers at the end of the day. Going to trust that they win this, but I think it's going to be a closer game than most people think.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm taking Packers as well, but there's a couple things I want to throw out here that I think are important. First is Green Bay is undefeated at home this year. The only team in the NFL who can say that. So, Lambeau's a special place, and I'm saying this as a Vikings fan. So, screw you, Matt, but that's okay. And another thing is weather. So, I did a little research. It's going to be a kickoff at Lambeau at 17 degrees, which
gonna be
is
freezing.
10 degrees colder than San Francisco has ever been, ever. The coldest recording history of San Francisco is 27 degrees. So like, there's no way that you can prepare for that as a San Francisco team. And Green Bay lives and breathes that kind of weather. So I just have, Green Bay here easily taking this victory.
Yeah, that's a good point. They said it might break an NFL record as what the feels like temperature could be -20, -30 degrees
Wow.
with the wind. Yeah.
Insane. Let's go somewhere warmer. Rams at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks a 3-point favorite. That's a Sunday game, 2 p.m. Central Time. Mark, who you got?
I've got the Rams covering +3. Like I said earlier, if Cam Akers can run the ball dynamically with explosion, it opens up the play action game. It opens up the defense for deep shots, short shots with Odell, anything they want to do. Historically, the only way to beat Brady is to pressure him. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, with Jalen Ramsey presumably manning up on Mike Evans in the back end. They can do that. This past week, Tristan Wirfs suffered an ankle injury and left Sunday with a boot. And Ryan Jensen, the center, suffered a back injury. And he returned to the game, but back injuries like that, man, once they tighten up, they tighten up. And if he's not able to go, expect rookie center Robert Hainsey to make his playoff debut per the Fan Nation website, All Bucks. I did a little research of my own today. And
Diving into the Fan
Ooh,
Nation.
the Fan Nation.
Well, no, it was like a post. It wasn't like it wasn't like some dude. It was like a writer. But main point being, there's a question mark, more than one, about the Tampa Bay offensive line, and the Rams defensive line is their biggest strength. Take the Rams to cover and take it while it's +3 because it'll be 2.5 before long.
Again.
Yeah, Mark, I have to disagree with you, buddy. I know you took the Rams last week, but they were playing a much better team. And what the Bucs did to the Eagles by smothering their run game, that's the only reason that Stafford was able to do the things he did. Obviously, it opened up the passing game with Akers. Cardinals have a terrible rush D. Bucs are #1 in the league. I think they're going to do the same thing. Stafford's going to be under pressure all day with that defense. They are playing absolutely lights out. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but it's hard to bet against Brady. I got Brady covering 3.
I just won't bet against Brady when I have the opportunity. I just can't find it in myself. He's broken my heart too many times as a Dolphins fan to just think that he's going to fail. I've wished upon his downfall way too many times, and I've learned my lesson. I can't do it anymore. Buccaneers cover -3. Pat?
I've got the Rams. I didn't take the Rams last week, and I'm taking them this week. For those of you guys who
hold on.
I just
Yeah, there
put
you
on
go.
my Rams dry fit, and I am all in on the Rams.
Incredible.
It's amazing. Pat, in
Oh
case
my
you didn't hear Pat,
God.
he just put on his Rams shirt. He got off the Zoom, came back in his Rams shirt, wardrobe change. Pat, that's his
Wardrobe's
first of the
incredible.
podcast. For those of you keeping score at home, first wardrobe change for Pat. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay. Yeah, I got the Rams. And I have it like, I'm not going to echo a lot of things that Mark said, but I agree with pretty much everything that Mark said. So, you got Ramsey on Evans, you got Donald and Miller on that defensive line. And I think, a big question mark here is Matt Stafford, because he's been so inconsistent across, the season. But I will say the last time that the Rams played the Bucs this year, he threw for 343 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is crazy. Like, against a defense that, we just saw basically destroy the Eagles. So I think the Rams are designed to take down teams like Tampa Bay. And even as great as I think Tom Brady is, I don't think he's going to be able to beat that defense. So I got the Rams.
Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 2.5-point favorite. Sunday, 5:30 p.m. to round out your football weekend. Mark, go ahead.
Okay, so the Bills beat Kansas City in Kansas City earlier in the year, but Mahomes teams have typically found their footing later on in the season, deeper into the playoff run even. And how many teams are going to go into Arrowhead twice in a season and beat Mahomes? It's just unlikely. I also want to highlight Jerick McKinnon as a star in the backfield for Kansas City. Last week, he had 12 carries for 61 yards and a touchdown. He was 6 of 6 receiving for 81 yards and a touchdown. He's been able to be capable enough that the defense has to respect the run while also serving as the kind of safety valve in the passing game that Mahomes has proven he really needs. The Bills are 5-0 straight up, 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5. They're really good, but give me Mahomes and Andy Reid with the line under 3 at home. That's an easy one. Chiefs -2.5.
Hugh.
Yeah, listen, this was the matchup in the AFC Championship last year. Obviously, the Bills got their heart absolutely broken. I don't know if we've all remembered the Stephon Diggs picture of him watching the Chiefs celebrate as they are heading to the Super Bowl. I think the Bills got it. I know they already went into Arrowhead once and beat them. I know it's hard being a team twice, especially in Arrowhead. I'm a Bills believer. I'm going to join the Bills Mafia, maybe jump on a table for the game this week. I have them at least covering. I think it's going to be a close game. Either team's going to win by a field goal. But I think the Bills are going to cover, at least.
I cannot pick against the Chiefs. I have a girlfriend who is a big Chiefs fan. Her family listens to this podcast, and they gave me grief for taking the Steelers to cover last week. I can't do it again.
Man.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs to cover. Look, plain and simple, I'll put all that aside. I have 3 reasons why I'm picking the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. That's it. That's all I really need. Because when those 3 dudes are healthy and in the lineup, they can outscore anyone at any time on any field, period. And how do you win football games? You score more points than the other team. I don't think the Bills can stop those 3 guys, and let alone the guy Mark just mentioned, Jerick McKinnon, who is all of a sudden a weapon out of the backfield now. So give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs to cover. Pat?
More OU players on the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs, baby. Every single time I'm watching the Chiefs, Travis Kelce catches the ball up the middle, and no defense can stop that for some reason. So if the Bills are listening, just to let you know, Kelsey's going to catch it over the middle like 5 or 6 times.
Every time.
Every time.
We got to give a shout out to OU guys. We got Orlando, a left tackle.
A
We got
lot
the
of OU
best
guys
center,
there.
best center in the game, Creed Humphrey. I mean, come on now.
Snubbed.
Blake Bell.
Snubbed.
Blake Bell.
Show some respect. Put some respect on it. Ryan, your pick?
Yeah. So I bet against the Bills last week, and that was a mistake, obviously. So I'm taking the Bills this week. And the reason that I'm taking the Bills is I think both of these teams in the past 2 matchups that they showed in the, super wild card round, that's what we're calling it now, some of the best, offensive performances that we've ever seen in playoffs history. They were unbelievable, both of them. But I think when it comes down to winning the game, what's going to win the game is the defense. And the Bills have one of the best defenses in the country. And they kind of, have not done it in a flashy way, but I mean, they have fewest yards per game and fewest points per game averaging. And I think it's going to come down to defense more than offense. This could easily be a shootout, but you need to get those stops when you can. And I think Bills are more able to do that than the Chiefs. So I'm taking the Bills.
All right, those are our picks. Be sure to send us your picks. Comment on our YouTube channel. Tweet us at the program guys. Comment on Instagram. Let us know who you're picking. If you're riding with us or not. Probably don't ride with me 2-4 last week. You probably don't want to follow me. Follow Mark or Matt. That sounds good. Even Ryan, you can follow those 3. Me and Pat, don't follow us. We're moving on to Sooner talk now, guys. For those of you who are out on the Sooners, we're all in on the Sooners because we are program
all
guys.
in.
We're program guys. Exactly. The big news this week is really the transfers. Transfers coming back in. We still don't know where Caleb Williams is. Feel like we don't really need to discuss the whole Caleb Williams thing until we really know what he's doing. And I don't know what he's doing. The transfers, how we feel about those transfers coming in this week. Brent Venables helping, and the staff helping move those players in. What a guy. Man. That's a guy who does what he says he's going to do. Practice what you preach. He says he's going to put the players first. He says this is a program for the players. He's there in move-in day for guys who show up to Norman, Oklahoma, have no idea what they're doing, moving into Headington Hall, and he's there carrying boxes with all of his staff.
Yeah, I forgot who it was, but one of the past players tweeted that in the last 2 years, Lincoln never showed up to any of their dorm rooms or his dorm room or something. You got Brent moving the team in. I love it.
Hey, we love a program guy. We really do.
We do.
He's the kind of guy that, like, when you're a little kid and you're talking to your parents about what a coach is, and they tell you what a coach is, Brent Venables is that coach. You know, he's a role model. He is a good guy. He's got all the stuff on the field, but he's got all the stuff off the field too.
Yeah.
How's everybody feel about Jackson Dart? You think Jackson Dart's coming to OU? Anybody
I
have
don't
any
need him.
inclination?
I genuinely have no idea. Like, I don't know. Like, it's either us or Ole Miss. And at this point, I'm just like, decide.
For some reason, it feels like the water's gotten hotter on Jackson Dart in the last day or two. I don't know why, but it feels like it's, heating up a little bit.
I don't know if he might be like waiting for a Caleb announcement and then something happens from there. Because I mean, if Caleb goes to USC, then like that's officially like he's going to be a starter at USC. If he doesn't go to USC for some reason, Jackson's Dart could still be the starter at USC. So it's like
if he didn't though.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know like what his decision is going to be. They've been, at Ole Miss and at OU taking all the pictures and tweeting all the things. So
okay, I'm gonna fire off maybe a hot take here, maybe it's not. I don't know. Patrick, you're the guru. You can tell me. I told you guys about this, that I wanted to talk about this earlier in the week. I respectfully am done with the whole they're just kids argument. They're not kids anymore. They're getting paid, and they're getting paid more than a large percentage of the US population. So I'm done with the whole they're just kids thing. I get that it's hard to make some decisions and we can't trust their decisions all the time. But at the end of the day, for us to be like, oh, you can't be mad at these kids. Like, no, they're not kids anymore. They're professionals. They're being treated like professionals. They're being recruited like professionals. All of that. I'm done with the whole, oh, they're just 18, they're just 19. No, if you're getting paid $1 million like Caleb Williams is about to get paid, you don't get that anymore. You don't. Especially if you're making that decision like he and his family are for money. Period. I'm done.
10 out of 10 rant.
That was beautiful.
Let's just end the podcast.
I mean, that was hot.
No one can talk after that.
I heard somebody on a program earlier this week to be like, look, at the end of the day, he's a kid, and he's making the decision to go play football somewhere because he's a kid. No, he's not.
No,
he's not.
That's not the game that we're playing anymore.
No, it's not. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I want the players to be paid. I'm on that team. They deserve it. It's their name, their image, their likeness, all that stuff. I support that. But you can't also get the other side of it where, oh, everyone needs to respect my decision and be nice to me. Like, no, sorry, I don't. I am loyal to a program. I'm a program guy. I'm not loyal I'm not loyal to Caleb Williams. I'm not loyal to Mario Williams. I'm not loyal to these kids who don't care about the program that they signed up to be at and are going to just leave when somebody offers a pretty penny. Not me.
I think what's related to that is that these kids aren't like in this day and age, it's hard to be loyal to a program. Like you're not going to be most likely. Like if you're one of these really, really high end recruits who are going to be getting these $1 million offers, like that is just, college ball at this point. And, I agree with you, Mason. I think it's this whole like horse and pony show is a little ridiculous and it's exhausting. And can we just move on? I think everybody's ready to just move on.
God, I got too fired up. Got me sweating like a hooker in church right here. I'm real hot right now.
It does foreshadow possibly a weird, professionalization of especially the quarterback position in college football, where I think you can easily foresee quarterbacks going into the portal anytime they want during the offseason and meeting with schools and seeing where the bag is and who will drop it. And if you're a sophomore and, a new coach comes in, you're not happy. Hey, maybe you just offer up to the highest bidder.
Well, and it's
the system we have in place now does not regulate against that. And maybe it shouldn't. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's the bargain we're all making. We're cool with it. But It's not hard to envision.
I just think it's kind of insane that you can enter the transfer portal, go see what else is out there, have other people recruit you and like offer you money and all this stuff. And then at the end of the day, you can just be like, nah, that's all right. I'm going to come back. Like, nah, I feel like once you're in the portal, you need to go, because a lot of these kids
that might be a hot take, Mason.
Facts.
It might be a
I'm
hot take.
I'm fine with it.
To have
might be a hot
POVs
take.
back. I'm pleased to have Bray Walker
Like,
back.
And I think we can't be like short-sighted here and not think that OU is benefiting from the transfer portal this year, because we like absolutely are. Like,
yeah.
There's like a statistic out there that's like we lost, 6 players and they had like 80 combined starts, right? But we're gaining 9 players with 195 starts. They might be coming from smaller programs that are, easier to start at than like a blue blood like Oklahoma. But that experience that we're getting, we're absolutely going to be benefiting from that.
All right.
Seasoned.
All right.
Yeah. Seasoned.
We'll move on. We'll move on now. I don't know who put this in our rundown, but I really like it, and I'm going to say it. The OU's last 3 recruiting class rankings: 2020, Tebow, 13th; 2021, Tebow, 10th; 2022, Venables, who took over after Tebow, left immediately before early signing day and tried to gut the program on his way out. Now OU is 10th. Incredible. Who wrote that?
Incredible.
That was a copy and paste from a tweet. I don't know. I don't know who tweeted it.
Writing.
Dang it, Pat.
Copyright
From
infringement.
Patrick.
I'm sorry.
source
I
our
don't-
stuff,
yeah,
man.
My bad. Maybe edit that one out, boys. I
No,
don't
we're
know.
not editing it
No,
out.
Don't do
No,
it. Don't do it.
It's staying in. All right. Anybody else anything to add?
Hey.
By the way, OU lost to KU tonight. Blue elite in
So
basketball at
depressing.
home.
So
Go ahead,
depressing.
Ryan. Sorry.
I just want to ask, there's a part in this outline that I need to talk about, because it says Mark needs 3 minutes to talk about Todd Bates. And so I need to
probably
give
more than that,
Mark
actually.
that.
Do you need more than
space.
that? All right. Let's stick to a hard 3 right now, because we still got to get to Ryan and Pat. So let's.
Fair enough. Okay.
Go ahead.
Here's my Todd Bates thing. He worked under Brent Venables at Clemson from 2018 until 2012, and then followed him late in the process this offseason to Oklahoma. He's going to be the defensive tackle coach and co-DC. I think it's a big deal that he's the co-DC. Ted Roof is the now for the defensive coordinator position, because he'll help with the installation. He's got the experience. He's done it before. But Todd Bates is only 30 years old. He played at Alabama. He was a defensive end there from 2001 to 2004. He can relate to these players at a blue blood program in a way that a lot of guys can't. At Clemson in 2019, he won the Rivals Recruiter of the Year award. In the article for that award, Rivals National Recruiting Director Mike Farrell is quoted as saying, "Bates is emerging as one of the best and most consistent recruiters in the country. Bates is aggressive and relentless, but also does a great job of making kids and families feel comfortable. The guy knows how to connect with these kids. He coached the entire defensive line at Clemson, defensive end, defensive tackle, something he's not doing in Oklahoma, but that kind of skill, that kind of ability translates. This guy knows what he's doing." Per Clemson's athletics website, every starter under his tutelage at both Jacksonville State and Clemson has earned at least one all-conference selection. In 2017 and 2018, Bates coached Austin Bryant, who was a 4th-round selection, Cleveland Farrell, who went 4th overall, Dexter DeLawrence, who went 17th overall, and Christian Wilkins, who went 13th overall. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins.
Thank you. I love you for that so much.
A year and a half ago for Clemson, Todd Bates was the lead recruiter on the number 1 player in the country, Brian Breesy. He got him, defensive tackle. Same class. He got the number 34 overall, number 5 defensive tackle, DeMonte Capehart. Same class, 5-star Miles Murphy, defensive end, number 4 in the country, number 1 defensive end. This dude knows what he is doing. He is the future of the defense at Oklahoma. Moving forward, he has access to the transfer portal, something Clemson never gave him access to. We've already got Jeffrey Johnson from Tulane. We've already got Jonah Laulu, who is admittedly more of a Miguel Chavis thing, but I'm pretty happy about it. And I'd like to close with a Todd Bates quote from the same Rivals article that I talked about earlier. "It starts with hiring the person and then hiring the coach second. With recruiting, it starts with recruiting the person and then the player second. There have been many times that the kid may have 5-star talent, but just may not fit our program or fit our culture here, and that's okay. Not everyone will. We stick to that, and that means something. That's our secret sauce here at Clemson, our culture." Hopefully, as Braden Willis might say, the overall attitude and culture being built at OU will have some of that secret sauce as well.
Incredible.
I think.
I love that.
Also,
It-
you
wow.
know,
Is someone
wow.
playing in
Superb.
Oregon? Is someone
just
playing
like
in Oregon right now?
impressive, just absolutely impressive. I'm so glad you got that opportunity to speak.
Guys, he is a monster, man. I'm so excited
Guys,
to
have
have him on our staff.
have you seen also his poetry? Like,
Yeah,
can
his
we talk
poetry's
about
great.
that? Can we
He's a
talk about
poet?
he's a poet. Check his
He's a
Twitter.
poet.
Yeah,
He
writes
connects with these
poetry.
guys.
It's
incredible.
incredible.
Something here's a quote I have from him that I didn't use in my thing. I'm using it now. I'm getting it out of the way. Clearing the mag.
Okay, yeah.
I tailor make some poetry for the players for what they're going through at the time, whatever time of year it is or whatever challenges they may be facing in their lives. That's just another way to connect using your God-given talent and gift to create unity, chemistry, and bond. What a guy.
What a
Oh my God.
renaissance man.
Is
What a
someone?
guy.
I meant to say this, but I couldn't get it in. Is someone playing in Oregon right now? Because Mark is straight preaching. That's that's what it sounds like.
We got too
Amazing.
excited after that, Mason. Sorry,
It's-
we probably cut you off.
No, it's okay. I still got it in and it got a reaction. So that's what I like. We're moving on now. Okay, we're off the OU train. We are on to Ryan Tyson's must watch of the week. By the way, hit last week. It was a fantastic finale for Station 11.
Huge.
Ryan,
it was amazing.
Ryan, I'm going to keep score for as long as we're doing this. You're 1 for 1 right now. And I thank you. I'm sketched out by this week's pick, but let's go ahead and let you
It's a little bit more obscure, a little bit harder to see,
Something.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure the guys are gonna have a lot of talk about this one because we're moving on to a movie. And I've decided that, we did TV last week. We'll bring TV in every once in a while, but I want to get to the movies because movies are fantastic and they're special and they're going away. And that's very sad. That is for another podcast though, to hear my thoughts on that. So we are going to be talking about Licorice Pizza, which is a very interesting title for this movie, but
Not a topping I would use.
maybe not. Licorice is a very strong taste there. So it's
this guy's German. He wouldn't even put that on his pizza.
written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who is one of my favorite directors working today. Where you can watch this only currently in theaters. So it came out select theaters, I believe New York, Los Angeles in November, and went countrywide in I think Christmas. So I saw this I think like the day after Christmas or something like that. It's got a great cast, a lot of newcomers actually. So leading the charge is Alana Haim, who if anyone listens to indie rock music and knows of the band Haim, it's Haim. It's three sisters. This is the youngest of the sisters making her acting debut as the lead in this. It also has Cooper Hoffman, which is the son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. Really incredible in this role as well. Looks a lot like his dad, so that can sometimes be pretty distracting. And then an incredible Bradley Cooper performance, which Bradley Cooper is just an actor that I love and is very versatile and is very weird and just does very interesting things. And this is a performance that's really great. The plot of this movie is really a coming of age story about, two characters that are in very different parts of their life. We have Alana Haim's character who's a 25-year-old who, is still living at home and trying to, figure things out. And then Cooper Hoffman's character is 15 years old in high school and honestly is trying to make a name for himself. He's an actor and also a entrepreneur. So it's set in 1970s Los Angeles. And really the themes here are, ambition, navigating adolescence is huge. I mean, this is a coming of age
For
story.
at least one.
It's we're gonna get to the boys section in a minute because I asked them to watch the trailer and I'm ready for them. So yeah, I mean it's navigating adolescence. It's about two people who are growing up again in different stages of their life, and it's also about romance and it's about friendship and it's about how people can affect you and how people change your life as you meet them.
I think it's gross to call this romance.
I'm
just staking that claim.
I'm gonna go to the barrier to entry here because this is what the boys are talking about mostly.
Love that every week you have a barrier to entry.
I do have a barrier to entry because sometimes I watch weird movies and I want people to know what they're getting into. So yes, there is kind of a central romance in this movie, and it is between a 15-year-old boy and a 25-year-old woman. So I have not looked at the 1970s consent laws in California. I do not know that, but I do think when you're watching this movie, there's a lot more nuance to that quote unquote romance. I think there's more to it. And it's really more about how these two people are, in this very specific time of their life and how they're being affected by that. So what it does well, I would say acting from Hoffman and Haim are incredible by two people who are very, very new. You really feel that. And you feel that kind of innocence and also that, that newness that they can bring to it. And it's just an absurd Bradley Cooper performance. So like he's only in the movie like probably tops 15 minutes, but it's absolutely incredible. He just got nominated for a SAG award, so the Screen Actors Guild Award. And fun fact about Bradley Cooper, he's been nominated for an Oscar 8 times, but has never won. So I'm rooting for him in this one because he's pretty incredible in just the short amount of time that you see him. Production design, directing, writing. And I would say some of the best like needle drops music this year. You got 1970s LA. It's an incredible time. I asked the boys to watch the trailer, and the trailer features, Life on Mars by David Bowie, which is just an incredible song and, just really well done. What it does not do so well, it's a little on the long side, clocking in at, 2 hours and 13 minutes, but I often think most movies are too long. And it's not probably the best. Paul Thomas Anderson, we might bring back There Will Be Blood, which is just an absolutely, show-stopping movie in my opinion, but it's not the worst. So that's Licorice Pizza. Boys, what do you think about it?
I would like to go on record
about the trailer. I know none of you have seen it.
Before we get to the trailer, I would like to go on record as saying that the Program Guys podcast vehemently disavows pedophilia.
Yes. We got 2 episodes in before needing that disclosure. We got a full 2.
Guys, if you watch the movie, it'll explain it. There's
okay. Ryan a segment and the second episode, it's like, no, it's artistic.
Hey, I had to bring the weirdness a little bit. None of y'all are. I mean, it's it's all.
So I watched
we can sports. I got to bring something.
When I watched the trailer, I watched it like you told me to. And I went into it with open mind. And let me tell you, I finished the trailer and I was left thinking, what the hell is this movie about? Because I have no idea.
Same. No idea.
But I will watch it because you have given a good review of it. And I like Bradley Cooper. So I could probably be in on this. Obviously.
Just keep an open mind going into it, I mean, like it's my favorite movie of 2021, and I saw a lot of movies.
Really?
And I think it's really, really awesome. I think that and like Dune are my favorite movies of 2021. So, they're right up there.
Cool.
Very different movies.
All right. Anybody else have anything to add about Licorice Pizza? Okay.
Nothing.
Everyone's just laughing.
And with that, we are on to everyone's favorite segment besides Must Watch of the Week. It's Pat's hot take.
All
Pat,
right.
He's got the hot take hat on now.
The hot take OU
bucket hat.
Bucket hat is on, baby. All right. Here it is, boys. And let me justify a little bit along the way. But I think there's a problem in the Northeast with the football team. And I think to resolve that problem, you need a complete overhaul and a complete rebuild. And to do that, it's going to take 5 to 10 years. And Bill Belichick doesn't have 5 or 10 years of uppity coaching left, in my opinion. And I believe, therefore, he needs to retire.
Man.
When
I tell you,
you turned up the temperature on this week, didn't you, Pat?
When I tell you that I saw this text and audibly gasped, I did. Patrick, would you like to elaborate?
Look, I mean, that team's not good. and you need to rebuild it. You need a complete overhaul, and you don't want the person doing that to not be the person who's going to be there in 5 or 7 years from now. And I don't know if he's got 5 or 7 years of energy left to coach in the NFL.
To be fair, has he ever had any energy? Like
That's
ever?
true. No,
I don't
but
know.
I'm just talking. It's like it's a stressful job,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
he deserves. He's the best ever. I'm not denying that.
Look,
He
and
deserves to walk out when he wants to walk out.
as a
and
Miami
I think
Dolphins,
it's now.
I think it's now.
as a
think
Miami
it's now.
Dolphins fan, I completely agree, Patrick.
Yeah.
It's time to hang it up.
No bias there.
That's not his
No.
logical thinking there,
No,
though. That's an emotional response.
Listen to me. I have never agreed with Patrick Moore. Patrick
Yeah.
knows football. He
Mhm.
knows fantasy football.
2-4.
And let me
Absolutely.
tell you, Bill
That's true.
Belichick, certified bum, if you ask me.
Right.
Time for that guy to get his butt out of there. He sees what's coming in the rearview mirror. He sees Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. He already got his butt beat down there in Miami before he headed up to Buffalo, and
There
then
it
got
is.
his butt beat again.
There it
He's
is.
terrified. And Patrick, I am on your side. Let me go get another bucket hat. Hold on.
Yeah, please do.
Listen,
Okay.
So
Patrick,
Pat said
how?
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys go.
All
You guys
right,
go.
so
There's a
Pat
lot
said
to talk about.
you want a guy who's going to be here in 5 to 7 years. Do we know a coach in the NFL aside from Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin who have even been like coaches for
I'm with you,
7
brother.
years?
Yeah, I know.
Pat, do you have a
yes.
single one? Do you have a single one off
The
the dome?
Seahawks coach. What's his name?
Oh,
Pete
Pete
Carroll.
Carroll.
Pete
Here we
Carroll.
go,
Yeah, he's
Petey-
been there
Petey
7
Carroll.
years. For
Yeah.
sure. Definitely the model you want to emulate. Go get,
Yep.
yeah, for sure. Get Pete Carroll and then draft a guy in the 3rd round.
I think it's time to go.
Look, Patrick, how do you feel about Nick Saban? How do you feel about Greg Popovich?
Old. Time
I
to
think-
go.
Yeah, it's all
All of them?
It's all time to go. No, I mean, I think Saban's fine. That organization as a
That
whole
was
is
forced.
doing great, right?
That was
was
so
forced.
forced.
So it's forced.
He's
holding back.
No, I just think it's time for the Pats to move on in like a positive way. Like, thank you. You did the best anyone could have ever done and anyone ever will do. But I think it's time to move on, boys.
How do you
So
propose
you're not suggesting Bill
the Patriots
Belichick retire. You're suggesting Bob Kraft fires Bill Belichick
That is this
I'm
hot
saying
take.
if I'm
It's turned
Bob
into that.
Kraft,
for the
I
sin
say
of making the playoffs
thank
for the
you.
rookie
Again.
See you
quarterback.
later.
Again,
Listen.
guys, I think he's on to something.
Thank you, Mason.
That's
The bucket hat bros.
talking. It's the bucket
2 and
hat
5.
talking.
What was it? 2 and 5 this weekend. I don't
In
know.
case
Just
no
right.
one is in case someone is just listening to this and
That-
not watching the YouTube, Mason has gone and put a bucking hat, bucking hat.
Bucket.
What is it?
Bucket
Bucket
hat.
hat. Bucket
Bucket
hat.
hat, yeah.
Is that a fishing bucket hat? So that
Yeah,
is?
you're darn right it is.
MLF, baby.
Shoot, yeah.
So
Shoot,
yeah.
Well, Patrick, thank you for blessing us with that.
Yeah.
A way better hot take than last week.
I
This-
agree.
Baptism by fire with that
Yeah.
take.
No joke. And with that, folks, that's a wrap on episode 2 of the Program Guys podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Be sure to follow us at the Program Guys on Twitter, Program
Z.
Guys with a Z on Instagram. It's with a Z on Twitter as well. Thank you for saying that, Mark. Be sure to comment on our YouTube video. We like to get involved in the comments. We'll what's your take? What should our punishment be for the loser of the picks against the spread? I vote spray tan. And tell the people what they are again. I say spray tan,
I said the one chip challenge.
1 chip,
Cinnamon challenge for me.
cinnamon challenge,
Or hang out with Matthew Gann.
and hang out with
you
Matt.
got me up for a whole weekend all of yourself.
I also think, hey, if anyone wants to throw out ideas, I'm willing. I'm open
Yeah,
to it. you
We'll
know?
take some from the
Uh,
audience.
Yeah, why
I'm
not?
sure that y'all have better thoughts than we do.
That's right. And with that, the episode is wrapped. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
We